Thought I'd do my brief history with my history of vinyl records, then on to cassettes, then on to CDs, now back into vinyl again. But my story's like everybody else's stories. After records, I moved on to cassettes and then CDs and everything. But I thought I'd show you some things anyway, though. I think some of my first records that I ever had were Monster records. Monster Speak. Famous Monster Speak. This was actually a hand-me-down that my aunt of mine gave me. Also had this one when I was younger. These are all repurchased. All these were lost a long time ago. Sounds to Make You Shiver. House of Terror. Well, actually, mine was called as it says on the other side. Try to get the exact name of it. A Story of Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Wolfman. I'll get back in there. You see, they re-released it. It was originally under Power Records, but they re-released it under what is this? Is this Peter Pan? Who is this? I forgot who re-released it, but they re-released it with a second record. Oh, it's Parade Records. Parade Records re-released it with a second sound effects record, and they changed the cover, but it's still the same thing, and it's got the comic book on the inside, which you can read along. That's really awesome. I think these are some of my first records I ever owned. Long lost, and I had to repurchase them. My memory is my mother had this big old Zenith cabinet unit with a turntable, 8-track player, radio. But I think that eventually stopped working, and eventually I got my own personal little stereo. Let's see. But when I was younger, let's see, the first record I think I ever owned back in the day was probably music related record. It was probably Thriller. I think that was probably the one I had first. All my old records are lost, so I had to I'm repurchasing everything little by little. I got this one for 50 cents, luckily. Well, I think that was the first music-related, record that I ever owned, besides the kids stuff. But, let's see, but I was real big into rap when I was a kid. Let's see, actually I was going to show this one. This was probably my first rap record, but I don't know for sure. It was a compilation called Electric Breakdance. It had the good hits on it, Jam on It, Magic Swan, Houdini, Electric Kingdom, White Lines, Play That Beat Mr. DJ, Rocket, It's Like That, Brian DMC, had everything. And this one actually comes with this cool poster on how to breakdance. This is pretty wild. I'm trying to go by memory of what I think my first record may have been in like different genres and things, like because I was really huge into rap back when I was a kid. But my memories have failed me. I don't know exactly what I had back then. I was big into the rap back then. Even though I still was into the rock and roll. And I had this on cassette, which now I have on a picture disc, Quiet Riot Metal Health. So I was into my rock and roll too, just not as much. I had more rap than rock and roll in my life, but I still loved rock and roll and metal and stuff. Well, I thought I'd just show off this just for the hell of it. It's my Fat Boys Pizza box set. I need to repurchase my original Fat Boys vinyl, the original, because this here is a pizza. Yeah, well, it is a pizza. It's a picture disc of a pizza, but I don't want to be playing this all the time. Plus, picture discs don't really have the best quality. See, I used to have the original, and I need to get that back. That's what I'd be playing all the time. Well, like most kids, most people, I moved on to cassettes. Kind of started shying away from vinyl records. All my records were getting scratched. I was not careful with them. I knew I was clumsy. So mainly cassettes ruled my life. Well, I don't know why I picked this one for the display here, but I picked that one to show. Heck, one of my first cassettes, who knows what that would have been. Then I moved on to CDs. I was slow to move on to CDs, though. I was still buying cassettes in the CD era. But this might be my first CD ever. I think this is like an 87, 88 release. It's probably right around there I got my first CD. Because we didn't have a CD player in the house until 88, 90, I don't remember. I forgot what year we bought that stereo. So it may have been a while since we ever even owned a CD player. So I was still buying cassettes. I remember that's why I picked this, because I remember getting the whole entire Aerosmith discography on cassette, heck of a lot cheaper than I ever would have bought it on CD. But the tapes were $4 to $6 a cassette versus $10 and up on CD. It's like, hell, I'll just get them all on cassette. Well, at the time, I didn't care, and that didn't bother me one bit, because I loved my cassettes. They sounded great to me. And then, CDs. Then I moved strictly to CDs. Like everybody, I won't say like everybody. A lot of people stuck with their vinyl. Then CDs to MP3s, and now MP3s burning onto CDs. I remember those days. I don't do that anymore. I don't remember the last time I burned a CD. Jeez, but I got a whole box full of mixed CDs. But now, because of the turntable that my mother found a turntable at a garage sale and asked me if I wanted it, and then that got me back into vinyl. That triggered me into wanting to get records again. It was a slow trigger, because at first I was like, well, maybe I'll get a few. We'll see how this goes. Oh, I gotta tell my story of how I lost all my records. Besides the childhood ones, besides the childhood records that were sold at a yard sale, the monster records and stuff, I still had my records up until the early 2000s, somewhere between 2000 and 2005. There was an incident. I live in a mobile home, so my hot water heater is in my closet. And this was at a time that I wasn't going into my closet much for anything. I may have spent two weeks or more without having to go into my closet for anything. I didn't need it in there for anything. And the hot water heater rusted out the bottom, and I did not know that. So by the time I opened the closet door, the smell right off the bat almost killed me. And then I seen the mold everywhere. All my records were molded over. Oh, it was disgusting. And I was so angry and in disgust, I tossed everything. Everything was molded over. Even if I saved it, it would have been disgusting. All the jackets were ruined. I tossed everything. I just said, screw it. I walked down to the dumpster and tossed it in a fit of rage. All my rap records, all my rock and roll records, some of the stuff I still haven't got back yet. I still need my Garage Days revisited, Metallica. Still needs my Run DMCs back. I've gotten back quite a few things, but I still need a lot more back. But now I'm back into vinyl, so hardcore you can't believe it. Just in the last year, since I started back into this, I've accumulated about 700 records on a strict budget. I'm a poor individual, always broke all the time. Bills. Don't have money for things. I'm on the low income side of things, but I've somehow acquired 700 records in a year's time. And maybe by next year I'll have 700 more. That's going to be great. I love my records. Collecting records is taking over my life. Video games used to be my life. If you look around behind me there, video games. Over there, video games. There's more video games. There's stuff's everywhere in this house. Video games, video games. My record wall, there's my turntable. Now there's the good stuff. There's more records. But video games was my life. From about 2010 until about last year, video games was my life. Video games. Now I've almost abandoned video games. Retro games was my life. And it still is my life. But now records is my life. Video games have dropped one notch. Now video games are number 2 on the list. Records are number 1 on the list. I've probably went on too long here. Well, that's not too long, 11 minutes. That could have been worse. That's my brief history on vinyl records. And you'll be seeing a lot more videos here, so thanks for watching.